This the War Report, coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out smackdowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here, no safe space. Now listen in, time to hear from some of the greats. This is my brutality. I eat, sleep, bleed. The demons in your dreams. I eat, sleep, bleed. Look at my eyes, look at my eyes, is it do or die, die, die. Look at my eyes, it is alive, alive, alive. All of the devils in me, I still feel the darkness that lives in me.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. Want to welcome Money Making Mitch to the show. It's a long time coming. Like I said last week, it's nice to have a fresh set of eyes on the product, and he's going to bring a whole different dynamic to the show.
Yes, sir.
We're excited to have you, brother. Welcome.
Excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Absolutely. So somebody's got feedback in the back. Does anyone else hear that? I don't know.
Is it me? Is it me?
Might be me.
It might be.
I have
Anyone hear it?
I do hear it. I'm slowly backing away from my microphone. Is it going away?
No.
No, it's still there. Is it you? It's you. It was me. It was me, Austin. It was me. Harlock. You're fired.
You still hear it?
A little bit.
It's. I don't know if it's because somebody doesn't have hip. Oh, was that it? No, I still hear it. I don't know if it's Al.
No, now Al.
Whatever. Fuck it.
It is what it is. So welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark.
Yeah, maybe
Technical
the headphones. I don't know. Oh, that
It's
might
definitely
be
feedback. I don't think it's Mitch.
weird. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along.
Figure it out. So, all right. Well, before we get started, I botched. That was quick.
Do you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Is it me? No, I don't think so, right?
It wasn't you.
No,
Okay.
and I muted myself. I don't know. It seems like it might be gone now. Nope, I still hear it. Oh, well, whatever.
It's probably me.
Let's just
Well, Vince, mute yourself again.
let me mute myself again.
Nope, it's not Vince. Mitch, mute yourself for a minute. It's Mitch.
Oh, is there like a washing? Oh, it sounds like maybe a washing machine or something. Do you have like?
No, I don't think so. Unmute yourself.
I turned off the heat because it might have been the heat because it just turned on like 2 seconds ago. So I shut it off.
Let's see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, we'll see. But
Well, either way.
oh,
We're going to start off with a little news from our good friend over at YouTube, David Roska.
we gotta go. Let's explain first, since
All
we
right,
have
go
a
ahead.
new member, Mitch. How do we explain David Roska?
So David has been with us for a very long time. He watches our show on YouTube. He has had so much input over the last year in the chat that we even did an ESPN alert every time he makes a comment.
Steve, can I simplify it for Mitch a little bit better?
Please.
He's an honorary Uso.
Yeah,
He's an honorary
Gotcha.
user. There you go.
There's a
I
couple.
like that.
Tara, if you ever see a comment by Tara or we mention Tara, she's another
another
honorary Oos of the show.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Very true.
If
Yeah.
if either of these people had, either David or Tara had a way to drop in on the show for 5 or 10 minutes, we'd gladly have them. But I don't know how I'd make that work. I feel like I I don't know. I don't know if we could make it work, I'd make it work. But David is oh yeah, before we go, David is a big fan of women's gymnastics. Specifically 1970s and 80s gymnast Nadia Comaneci. He's a fan of Simone Biles. I know that for sure. And he brings up the perfect 10 of Nadia Comaneci. She was the first perfect 10 in Olympic history on the Florida team. Pretty remarkable. Listen, we had to learn all this as we're going along. And he's also a big fan of Trish Stratus. Women's wrestling is like his jam. He does chime in on the men's stuff. Don't get me wrong, because like he says, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. He calls out stuff like this too. But
well, now here's
his
a perfect
wheelhouse
example.
is women's wrestling.
Here is a perfect example of what you just said. So his first comment, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at the Royal Rumble, which, I mean, obviously they kind of teased last night on Raw, and we will dive into Raw. But then his next comment, who is going to the Women's Royal Rumble and who's going to win the Men's Royal Rumble? So those are all valid, David, and we're going to get into those. We're going to save that.
We're going full steam ahead. I mean, the whole thing is... How far away are we? We're 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
2 weeks from Saturday, I believe.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so a little Saturday. Right in between 2 and 3 weeks. So we're almost there, and we're seeing a lot of singles matches forming. Which is cool.
we're seeing a lot of things get set up, but most importantly, in 2 weeks' time, this will officially start the official road to WrestleMania, which is the greatest time of the year. The next 3 months, the next 3 months are going to be fucking insane. Insane. Now shit is going to start to form. We already got The Rock back, who wants to sit at the head of the table, which still gives me goosebumps. We have CM Punk talking shit with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. We have Rhea Ripley, which we got to talk about Rhea Ripley for a minute. It's still mind-blowing to me how she is a top heel and gets the biggest pop of the night.
And
definitely.
The greatest thing about it, she couldn't even go against it, right? Like she had to acknowledge the love she received that night. Right. She had to.
Right. They know. Like
Absolutely.
That's all she could. And it's just everything about her. Her whole presentation, from the entrance to the ring work, her I mean, I know this is Raw, but her one-on-one with Nia Jax last night, fire promo.
It's very good promo.
Very good promo.
That was awesome. It's a great match.
Hopefully that's going to be a really good match. But obviously that's coming.
Oh, hey-o.
David Rosca, I called it a fatal four-way match for the WWE Undisputed Champion. David,
he did.
I remember that. I watched that night.
He did call it. That was a very good call. And that's really a big part of what we need to talk about with SmackDown, because so here's my thing, right? The highly anticipated triple threat match was a great fucking match. My issue is it ended exactly the way I thought it would. Not from I'm pissed about the predictability factor, but I also have been kind of hinting at the fact that there was going to be a fatal four-way, that we haven't had one in a while. I just wish there was a conclusion to the match. I know to get to the fatal four-way there couldn't be, and that's how all this, gets one over on Roman. But what I will say is the very last moment was so fucking perfect, with Roman celebrating in the background, all this leaning into Heyman and saying, well done, well played. Let Roman know he just made this a fatal four-way match at the Rumble. And then Heyman's face, the picture was fucking gold. That made the whole thing, but it was a great match. I wish there was a conclusion. But now that does open up another conversation. How do you not hurt Roman in any way by having him lose the title when he doesn't get pinned? He could quite possibly lose the belt at the Royal Rumble.
No way.
This is a way of protecting Roman. He doesn't have to wrestle. 3 other guys do the work. He comes in, hits a spear, goes ooh-wah, jerks off his wrist a little bit, and wins the match. Like, that's...
And
Come on.
we will have 3 more people that we're talking about now, and 3 months from now they'll be dead because they lost to Roman Reigns.
Well, no. I was going to say, Al, this is actually the out, because if one person won that the triple threat match rather, and made it a singles match, any one of them, because they're who is it? It was AJ, Orton, and then who was the third one?
LA Knight.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
No,
So those.
is it LA Knight?
No,
Was it LA
no,
Knight?
Randy.
No, who was in the triple threat
No.
on SmackDown?
It was AJ, LA Knight, Orton.
Okay.
Oh, it
so
is
those
LA
three, yes,
Knight.
it was
Okay.
LA. So those 3 guys, first of all, LA got toasted by losing to him way back when. The other 2 guys just came back. LA Knight losing to Roman in a singles match again he's fucking charcoal. If either of the 2 guys who just came back lost to him, that's worse for them, because it's like, hey, you just came back. Hey, you just lost the big singles match at the main event of the Royal, one of the big 4 pay-per-views a year. This is a way for Roman to sneak one in and pin somebody, and it doesn't hurt the person who gets pinned really, because the win is going to be like stolen, quote unquote, and it's not going to hurt the other 2 guys because they're not involved in the finish, which leads me to believe that the idea of AJ and Orton challenging in singles matches for the title against somebody, whether it's Roman or whether it's whoever, is in the cards. Because if they didn't give a shit and they're like, yeah, we'll put in a singles match and just fucking beat Orton or just beat AJ, doesn't matter. It seems like they have a plan and they don't want to beat these guys just yet. So I don't know if they're setting them up as contenders for the new champion, whether that's Cody or whoever, or whether they're setting them up as challengers to face Roman after WrestleMania.
Or these could just be the guys that will challenge Roman from here to WrestleMania, and he beats on them.
Right. He could challenge each of these guys. There's 3 months. He goes one a month,
Right.
dusts him off, and then goes into WrestleMania.
Right.
Well, we still don't know what they're doing with Rock and Roman, whether it's going to be
Australia or
Australia at the Chamber, or if it's going to be at Mania. I mean, I can't see them taking the title off Roman, especially when he's so close to breaking Hogan's record. The other part of me is kind of like, does the record really fucking mean anything at this point? He's never around to defend the belt, so anybody can break the record. But in any event, records are records. So I can't see them doing that.
But so here's the thing, Steve. You're also so. For him to break Hogan's record, he has to go through WrestleMania.
Correct. Which means, well, if it winds up being Roman Rocket Mania for the title, I don't see Rock winning.
Right, exactly.
Right,
but
Rock
that's
is
the setup.
One and done. He's not going to hang around. He's going to go do his movie.
Right. The only way that Roman doesn't break the record is if Cody is his challenger, because then there's. Do you have the guy go in twice in a row and lose? I mean, if he's a rematch, he has to kind of has to win.
Oh man, I'm dying to see that.
But I don't know. I think, listen, if Australia threw a bunch of money at Rock and Roman to have that match, then have that match there, I guess. But to me, regardless of the fact that all the tickets are sold out and they don't need to sell extra tickets and they don't need to sell extra pay-per-views because it's a streaming service, Rock Roman is the biggest match they can put on. It deserves to be on the biggest show of the year.
Fucking Mania.
That's it. Regardless of how many people show up in Australia, it's fucking Elimination Chamber. It might as well be Backlash or Vengeance or whatever. It doesn't.
I mean, listen, I like Elimination Chamber, and it is a stadium, right? So it can seat, I think, close to 70,000 people. Obviously, if The Rock is announced that match is happening there, they're going to immediately sell out.
It's still not WrestleMania.
But it's still right. It's still not WrestleMania. And that's my thing. But I will tell you this. If we find out that this match is happening at Chamber, then Cody is finishing his story at WrestleMania.
Well, then, yeah, that's the thing. Now, here's what I'm thinking, Steve, because we mentioned this before. There's a possibility that Australia paid, this Western Australia tourism, whatever, paid The Rock to appear and maybe make an appearance, and maybe that's where he makes the challenge to Roman, or maybe, and this could be a good setup, what if you have, at Elimination Chamber, Roman and which Uso is still with him?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Roman and Jimmy versus Rock and Jay in a tag team match. Rock pins the Uso, so Rock gets the win, but Roman doesn't get pinned. But Roman's pissed because he just pinned one of his guys. That furthers the tension between him and the Uso thing that's going on. And then also could set up, hey, I pinned your dude, I'm coming for the head of the table. And then that sets up The Rock, right? The Rock would have to, from Elimination Chamber through WrestleMania season, and I don't think he's going to have matches, but at least in segments, he has to deal with Jimmy, and he has to deal with Solo, and he has to deal with Heyman. So he has to kind of run the gauntlet. And I think regardless of whoever it is going to have to run that gauntlet. If Cody wins the Royal Rumble, he's going to have to face Solo again. He's going to have to face Jimmy again. He's going to have to do an in-ring segment with Heyman again. He's going to have to do face-to-face with Roman again. I think the idea of a decades-long legacy of this family that they've now built up, the Uso family.
Ryan says, what if you mirror the Rock Cena feud and announce next year's WrestleMania's main event? I don't like it. I
set it up a year in advance. I hate that shit. That's why I don't like this Cody stuff, because it feels like, and this is the risk you run. There were 11 months out of the year or whatever it was where everybody in WWE, including Triple H, including Cody Rhodes, were like, it's locked in. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40, night 2 in Philadelphia. It's already done. And then in the 11th fucking month of the year, they go, if you smell, and it throws all those plans out the window. So Cody has been coasting for the last year. And I don't mean coasting in terms of like he's not putting on good matches, but what I'm saying is he's just been floating around because they're like,
he just assumed he was a lock.
Right. They're like, we're just going to float Cody. He's going to feud with this guy and that guy, but it's not, he's just going to stay hot. We're going to wait until Royal Rumble, and then we're going to heat him up.
We also can't disregard the idea that we could also get a triple threat match.
Now, see,
and have Rock, Cody, Roman.
This is something I've seen online a couple times, and I understand where they're coming from.
But
it's the idea of a triple threat, because here's the thing. WrestleMania 20 had a triple. WrestleMania 10 didn't, right? WrestleMania 20 had a triple threat. And WrestleMania 30 had a triple threat as their main events. They're saying, "Oh, nice symmetry. We can have a triple threat here." But here's the thing. It's not as big of a match when you put all those guys in together. The triple threat match doesn't mean as much as those singles matches. It just doesn't. It's like having when you say there are two main events.
Agree with that.
And keep in mind, Steve. The thing is,
then who takes the pin? Does Cody pin Roman, which he could do in a singles match? Does Cody pin The Rock? And then what the fuck? He pinned a guy who hasn't had a match in 10 years to win the title? It just, the math doesn't shake out on the triple threat thing for WrestleMania. That's my only worry.
I think it's a clash of stories, and not only that, you ruin two stories in one, because you have a head of the table story already. Which
you're concluding two stories at once, right?
Yeah, and then you could have your own Cody Rhodes finish the story. So you don't want to do that. And again, it's like Vince said, there's no way if people would want to see The Rock face his cousin after that statement, because it's about the head of the table. It's not even about the belt.
It's bigger than the belt.
It's bigger than
that's why it needs to be at WrestleMania. That's my problem.
That I agree with.
That's the issue.
Now, Steve, I've got an interesting thing, because you said something earlier. I'm going to tie this back in. You said, what if this 4-way match at Royal Rumble is a way to get the title off of Roman Reigns for WrestleMania?
Head of the table is bigger than the title.
So what if during this fatal 4-way match, where everything happens the way we think it is, 3 guys wrestle, Roman rolls out for a little bit, he comes in, he's about to steal the win, The Rock runs in, gives him the fucking rock bottom, and then Randy Orton's the new Universal Champion and goes into WrestleMania to face Cody to finish
Rhodes,
up the legacy storyline.
Which is right, and you can there's a story already written there, so you could you
could even do AJ. So here's the thing with each of these guys: if AJ wins the title and you want to go with Cody, you go AJ and Cody, 2 outsiders, guys who should never be in the main event of WrestleMania fighting for the WWE World Title. One guy was always associated. He was Mr. TNA for a decade. Cody Rhodes was the guy that showed you could go out on your own and make it on your own, and came back after almost a decade, where he was defined as an AEW guy, an NWA guy, an independent wrestling guy. And now they're both in this main event. You can sell it that way. Or with LA Knight, the way you go is LA Knight just won the title. He did what Cody couldn't do. Both of these guys have parallel years. Like 2022 and 2023 were pretty similar for Cody and LA Knight in terms of like gaining popularity. And LA Knight even more so because he was like a big underdog. He was a nobody compared to Cody coming relatively. I mean, I know people knew him from Impact or whatever, but you can sell it that way. It's like, oh, now Cody, LA Knight is trying to be the guy. But Cody thinks he's the guy. So which one of these people is going to be the one to bring the new era of WWE in post Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
But then what do you do? Does this person, let's say either three of these guys just hold it until WrestleMania, so Cody just gives him 8 crossroads and pins him and then cries of crocodile tears for 20 minutes while Pyro goes off and his dog barks? Like,
I don't know. The problem is right now it's not predictable. You don't know the direction they're going to go, which is also not a bad thing.
No, that's kind of nice.
Which is kind of nice for a change, but I will keep saying it over and over again. Rock Roman is WrestleMania. Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we're talking about
I got a crazy situation. So, you know how a while back the Judgment Day and the Bloodline made like a pact type of thing?
They did.
So what if at WrestleMania it's Rock versus Roman and Damian Priest cashes in and betrays basically the Judgment Day and everything and then is out with R-Truth?
You know, listen, we haven't talked about the briefcase and we can't forget about the fact that it's still there.
Yeah, but can I tell you, Steve, what I think is going to happen? I think I mentioned it last week. They're going to have Seth versus Punk at Mania. Punk's going to win, celebrate, and then get immediately cashed in on.
As a fuck to you.
And that's how it's going to happen. It's like, yeah, you won. You got everything you wanted, but this is how it ends, which I think would be appropriate.
That's a Vince McMahon move. I don't know if that's a Triple H move.
But I also think it would be something that maybe he could get behind because then we saw what happened in AEW. Where do you go with CM Punk as world champion? The guy's just, you don't go like.
People will want to see it.
It's almost like when Edge won the TNT title at the pay-per-view against Christian. He won it. You got that big pop, the big moment. He celebrated, and then fucking Luchasaurus came in and just shit on his parade, and it was great. So I think if they did that kind of moment, it would not that Judgment Day is not hot. Individual people in Judgment Day are hot. Doing this would immediately re-cement them as not comedy guys, not goofy heels or whatever. If all of them went out there and beat the shit out of CM Punk, and then Damian Priest gives him the South of Heaven, cashes in the briefcase, and wins, you've got a heel faction that is now the biggest heel faction you've had in 20 years, and you've got a guy like CM Punk chasing the title, so you get another chase. You get another promo thing, like just how you had CM Punk and Seth. You have the chase of him trying to get to Priest, and then he has to go through Judgment Day, gets to Priest, and eventually, whatever, wins if you want him to win. And I don't know. I think there's more there than Punk just kind of winning the title at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? I don't know. It seems like fairly some of the solutions just seem too cut and dry. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we have to remember that this briefcase is still out there. So It's definitely a possibility that
when does it expire? It's not WrestleMania it expires.
It's by the next Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think
so. That's what
he gets a year worth.
May or something, June.
Well, isn't Money in the Bank the pay-per-view after WrestleMania or 2
Oh,
hours?
I keep forgetting they moved Money in the Bank around.
I was gonna say they change it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's right after WrestleMania or something like that.
The last one was in July. So yeah, okay. So he's got time. All right, he doesn't have to cash in WrestleMania because when the Money in the Bank was on WrestleMania, that's when it expired.
I feel like it's been so long.
It has been, dude. It's been a long time. They've had that Money in the Bank. Think about how long Money in the Bank's been a thing.
It's been a while.
True.
Like 20 years.
So outside of all this, we have to talk about the reveal on SmackDown of the new faction, which I don't know if we have a name yet. But you got Karrion Kross, AOP with Paul Ellering, and Scarlett there. I'm excited for this team. I think this could be pretty fucking badass. It, at the same time, officially turned Street Profits and Bobby Lashley's team face. So they swapped that around real quick, which I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more excited the fact that Paul Ellering is with them than anything.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Like, people I don't think realize how big of a deal that is. And that's a big fucking deal. And AOP looks great. Karrion Kross as the leader looks great. Scarlett with the darker hair. I mean, she's just fucking.
Oh, yeah, she looked great in a burlap sack. Yeah.
But
so he's wearing a shirt. There was a trademark or copyright filing by WWE, and Karrion Kross was wearing a shirt that said "The Final Prayer."
Right.
I don't know if that's going to be the name of the group, or the name
which
of
I'm okay with that.
That's
a cool name.
Like yeah.
I have a question. Speaking about shirts,
prayer seems like,
did anybody notice?
You know what I mean? It's like right in the same wheelhouse.
Jimmy's shirt, Yeet, that was like blurred out.
I did notice that, and I didn't know why, because obviously they're using it, so they got over that hurdle. I don't know why that was blurred out. I did notice that too.
Yeah, I was, but he was using the word, so it can be a copyright issue. So I was just a little confused with that. It didn't make sense. Yeah, unless the shirt actually comes that way and it's the shirt he's selling, which that'll be crazy.
Oh, they might be selling a blurred Yeet shirt now.
Yeah, that could be it. And it looked awesome because I really thought it was blurred out.
That was pretty cool. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with this team. Obviously, they're going to go right into a program with Bobby Lashley's team, which I'm good with that. So we'll see where that goes. Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, official for the U.S. title with KOing Logan Paul in the middle of the ring, which was great. But Logan Paul is awesome. I mean, the heat he generates is amazing. Him on commentary for that match was fantastic. He was great. And then the way he was interacting with the crowd was great. The shit talking he did afterwards was great. He took the punch to the face well. He sold it well. I can't say enough about that. I think that's going to be a great match, but I do think Logan Paul is going to go over Kevin Owens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not a consideration at all. He's got to keep the title till WrestleMania, and then somebody else can win it. But I feel like you got to keep the belt on a guy like Logan Paul. You know, as much as he's whatever an outsider, he's doing his thing. He's been there for a couple of years now, and he's been in enough matches where he's a marquee
first
guy.
Match was impressive.
Yes, but he's a marquee guy. You know, I understand that. So you don't have him lose at the Royal Rumble. He's got to stay until WrestleMania, and then if he's done and wants to take a break or whatever, have him drop the title.
So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And then again, we got Roman Reigns. I mean, I will say this is 4 weeks in a row.
Some kind of record.
Well,
yeah, right. I forgot the last time he did that.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe this is a sign that he'll be around now, I guess, from now
to the end of he actually threw a punch, Steve. Who figures? Go figure.
He did throw a punch.
He threw a punch.
Yeah, the one thing we're underestimating in all of this is that Roman Reigns wrestles about one match a month, and the Royal Rumble's it for January. So any idea of him wrestling
Acknowledge me.
He doesn't have to do shit until Elimination Chamber.
What, beforehand, you're saying?
Yeah, he's not going to wrestle beforehand. And he's not going to wrestle. But I think he's only going to wrestle on pay-per-views, dude. I
think you got a better chance of Shawn Michael coming out the Rumble before he wrestles in January.
But listen, we have said this before. It's not about him wrestling at this point. Just show up. Be in segments.
At this point, 11 matches, really? It's not about him wrestling?
Well, I'm just saying, if at least have him on TV every week.
Right. If he's not going to wrestle, at least he's showing up.
You know what I mean? Nice. Even if it's, like we've been saying, even if it was like from his fucking island of relevancy and he's got a fucking pina colada and he's chilling on the beach, like at least it's something. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. He's not going to be the champion much longer. I mean, at least I don't see. Well, who the fuck knows? Because I don't know how it's going to shape up now for Mania. There's so many different avenues this can go. Raw. So first, I want to say how fucking pissed off I am.
Oh yeah.
Because not that I didn't see it coming, but once again, Shinsuke Nakamura took a fucking loss.
Bro,
Yeah.
what is this? Like, come on. We're leading up to the Royal Rumble. Cody can take what? Cody hasn't lost.
Shinsuke should have won the last one.
Yes.
And then lost this one. What are we fucking doing? It's what the fuck? So now Karrion Kross is going to be a monster, but Shinsuke is going to still just take losses. He's going to go on the hunt. He's going to issue the challenges to everybody, and then he's going to lose every fucking time. And it sucks. The match was great. There were some great spots. The finish was great. But I sat there, and once he threw himself through the table, I'm like, oh, there it is. Cody wins. Again, not that I was surprised. I knew there was no way Cody was going to lose, but what the fuck? Dude, Shinsuke has to make a challenge to somebody that he's going to win.
Right.
Shinsuke is the modern day Razor Ramon. He will never get past. He's the guy that everybody goes over when you're about to face the top guy. That's who he is. Like,
and
it's a shame.
I fucking hate that. I love it.
But he's right.
He is. No, he's right.
Fucking true. Like, he's the guy you go over before you face the head honcho, like in a video game, you know?
Yes,
like,
I understand.
Shinsuke needs a fucking win. A win. And I mean, like, a defining... I don't know. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. This is the best fucking version of Shinsuke Nakamura we have ever seen, and he does nothing but fucking lose.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Who is he gonna go over? We had this conversation last week.
But here's the thing. He's got a shortcut now. He's got magical, mystical, fucking Asian mist. He grew a special gland in his mouth.
Right, it's red.
Poison. Okay?
Exactly.
The poison mist is a shortcut to victory. Yes, exactly. Cody saw a face on the tree when he was wrestling somebody else, and he beat them without doing a finisher, and then he got to face Reptile. Is that how you did it in this Super Nintendo game? You had to see the face on the tree. You had to win perfect. You had to win perfect. Whatever. Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah. Reptile.
Yeah.
But it's for me. We've had this conversation. We literally for 3 weeks, I think, almost a month for now, we've been mentioning literally a wrestler that was the hottest thing since sliced bread 6 months ago, and they're in the toilet. We have Jey Uso. We have Sami Zayn. We have LA Knight. We have Shinsuke Nakamura. We have McIntyre. So where can they go? And you can throw AJ in there because he might not be doing anything soon.
But here's the thing. But Al, like Steve said though, what if Shinsuke won the first match? What if he hit him with the mist and then beat him, rolled him up, beat him, and then Cody wins the definitive second
that doesn't
match.
Hurt Cody in any way.
No,
the mist would be a shortcut.
They should have. They're going to have multiple matches. They should split one or whatever, or have 2 out of 3. But the thing is, I don't see him winning like a series with these top. Like with Cody, as soon as they put him with Cody, we said it a couple weeks ago. It's like, oh my god, here we go again. Yep. They're just going to make him cut great promos and make him go through this gauntlet. And at the end of the road,
build-up was so good too.
It was a great build-up. The whole cartoon shit with the mist, it was awesome. I don't know. It's weird.
Like, where does Shinsuke go from there? What is he going to go for his next challenge of somebody else that he's not going to win?
Exactly. That's the problem.
He's going to try to go finish somebody else's
credibility. Story. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with taking the job, but you got to get the win every now and then.
Right.
I mean, what the fuck? It's really upsetting me. It's very upsetting. Shinsuke is the fucking man.
Does he dethrone Gunther?
You know what? I'd be okay with that. He's not going to, but I'd be okay with that.
I think Jimmy's gonna have that job. No, wait.
Jay?
What's on
Jay?
SmackDown? No. I think Jimmy might take on whoever the U.S. champ is. As he said, remember on his
Logan.
promo Saturday night, he said, "Oh, I'm gonna go. This is gonna be the year I get my first singles championship."
Yeah,
and him
but
and Bronson had a little beef, which I'm assuming that's gonna be something now.
that kind of teased a little something there, but I don't know if that happens before WrestleMania. Because everything I've heard
Oh,
that's
it's
been the
brothers,
most consistent thing all year is that it's going to be Jimmy versus Jay.
right? Brother versus brother. I'm assuming they're gonna pick that up after the Rumble or during the Rumble or something, and we'll.
Although that doesn't mean that there can't be a single title involved if one of them picks up a singles title prior to WrestleMania. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, anything. So I don't know if it's
I don't.
I don't know if they're
And
gonna give
they
one
may
of
have
those
scrapped that. Maybe they're not going to do that. But that's the most consistent match I've heard for a long time. Is that's been
Right. Yeah,
What is-
yeah. That's the one of the most, probably the most solid one. I don't think I've heard anything else that's as solid as that.
where does
Right.
Solo
Plus, that's
go?
their dream match.
That's a very good question, Vince.
I'm glad I must be the only one thinking that because it seems like nobody
What
else
do
in the WWE.
What do
has
you
that.
what do you do
concern.
with Solo? What do you do with LA Knight? What do you do with
Yeah,
I mean,
This is a great problem, though.
it is a great problem.
Think about how stacked our WrestleMania card's going to be.
And they
with all
do
these problems.
have 3 months to figure it
Yeah.
out.
just think
Right.
about how good the pre-show battle royal is going to be with all these guys in it.
God, I hope not.
No storyline pancake match.
Pancake.
God.
Just throw him in there and no storyline. Just kill each other, guys.
I don't know.
But yeah, man. Look,
Is there an air raid?
Keep
What
in
you say?
mind, Steve.
Yeah, there's a fire truck coming through. Sorry. I'm gonna
Oh,
mute
Oh, I
for a
thought that
minute.
was part of your music. I thought you
No,
put
that
that on.
I thought
No.
Scott Steiner was coming out.
I need to add him to my list. All right, hold on. I'm gonna mute for a minute.
So my thing is this now, right? We spoke about all these guys, and Vince, not for once have
Yeah.
we mentioned the hottest wrestler all last year, Gunther.
Oh fuck.
What's gonna happen with Gunther? Who's gonna wrestle?
Brock
who out of
Lesnar.
Say
all
Brock.
those guys?
Yeah, lean into the mic to say it, Steve. Brock
Lesnar. That
be.
is happening.
It's gotta be.
It's got to be.
Yo, speaking of Brock Lesnar, did you hear the silly thing that Matt Riddle said this week?
No.
Matt Riddle said that he was scheduled to win last year's Royal Rumble or the 2022 Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar said no. Brock Lesnar was like, "No, I'm not. You're not winning that Royal." Like there was, but he was. Matt Riddle was
funny.
apparently booked to win the 2022 Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar vetoed it. That's the story that Matt Riddle said. Matt Riddle also does a lot of drugs, and I can't take him at his word.
That's fucking funny though, if that's the truth.
But if you see his elimination from that match, they barely touch because Brock Lesnar legitimately doesn't like the guy because Matt Riddle spent so many years calling him out, saying Brock Lesnar is a bad MMA fighter and I want to beat him in the UFC. Like he legitimately he didn't want a wrestling match. He wanted an MMA match with this motherfucker. Now they're both in wrestling. He wants a wrestling match, but Lesnar wants nothing to do with him at all because he just the heat that Riddle was trying to generate wasn't. There was no permission given. It wasn't like, yeah, me and you were working together, or like he didn't ask Brock, hey, can I see your name? He just used Brock's name to try and get a name for himself. So Brock didn't even lock up with him. They didn't share any blows. Basically, in that match, Matt Riddle ran at Brock Lesnar. Lesnar picked him up and in one fluid motion threw him all the way out of the ring, and he was eliminated.
Don't fuck with Brock Lesnar.
Nah, that's big money right there.
But I don't know if I can believe that Matt Riddle was booked to win the Royal Rumble.
That sounds a little too, especially given what his problems.
Yeah.
Prior
I don't
to.
know if they've ever had him penciled in to win something like that.
Yeah,
like the US
buy
title,
that.
sure. Tag title, sure.
Sounds far fetched.
Right. Bro.
So here's what I will say overall about Raw. Raw felt a little weak, and part of that, I guess, it's very hard to come off of a Raw that we had last week with The Rock. So,
how do you top The Rock, man?
I mean, that's just, but there were some good moments.
I know how. I know how you top The Rock with R-Truth's fucking tribute.
Oh, dude, dude, our truth is everything.
He's everything.
He is the greatest. He really is. I laughed out loud that entire every picture where he was photoshopped in, and
He photoshopped
the
them
story,
too.
the baby Judgment Day, like just everything about it. I think he's gonna win Damian Priest over.
He already has. It looks like
He could be the reason that Judgment Day turns face. Minus, I think Dom would go elsewhere. Because I don't think you could turn
even
Dom
JD
face. But Rhea
McDuff, like-
Ripley's over.
No, how
So-
great, Steve? How great would it be if they do turn face? They keep Dom, but they keep booing him.
That
That'd
would
be great.
be amazing.
Everybody gets
That
cheered
would be
except for him.
amazing.
Yeah, they cheer the whole team until he grabs the mic, and they just keep booing him.
And I really hope WWE puts out that Judgment Day shirt and has the paper with R-Truth. I'll buy that shirt.
Absolutely.
100%.
You know they'll
He
do
did-
that.
That was amazing. The whole thing is great. And then of course the segment, where he still thinks he's a part of Judgment Day, but he's helping out Miz. The whole thing is fucking great.
well, that's because
Nobody
JD's
can
not
do
in
it better
Judgment
than-
Day.
Huh?
I said that's because JD's not in Judgment Day.
That's right. JD lost.
And he's not. He lost that match. Okay. You know what? We're all on the same page here. He lost the match. He's out of Judgment Day. I don't even care. I don't care for JD McDonough anyway. So get him the fuck out.
I don't think he's won a singles match since he came to the main roster.
He's fun. He's perfectly serviceable, but he's just another guy who's just like, I don't know. Him and Austin Theory can go play touch button NXT. For all I care.
Somebody, when he first got called up, everyone's, I'm sure, seen it. There's this meme of his face next to the Shrek Captain Hook,
Lord
Right?
Farquaad.
Lord Farquaad, and it looks so fucking identical. I can't ever get it out of my head when I see him, and he's constantly getting his ass kicked. Dude, it's
Steven,
hilarious.
why would you do this to me? Why would you put that
Dude,
image in my head?
His head is so fucking big
He does have a big old fucking
compared
potato head.
to the
doesn't he?
rest of his body. I'm telling you,
He's got
you
the
gotta-
Irish potato head.
Google it right now, and you'll see what it'll pop up, bro.
All right.
It is amazing. You're never gonna
looking
be able
for
to see him now without
All right,
seeing
I'm
that.
searching. I'm searching for what JD Drake. Is that his name? No,
No.
JD Drake's on
McDonough?
AEW.
JD McDonough.
JD McDonough, and then I gotta put in
Shrek Prince.
Farquaad.
Shrek King,
Okay,
whatever.
let's see.
Lord
Oh no! Oh no! There's a TikTok. There's actually a TikTok.
Is there really?
He said, "Oh no."
I gotta send you this fucking video, Steve. Holy shit! This is the funniest video I've ever seen. Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god! Oh god! I'm gonna copy the link. Oh, copy that link. Steve, is there any way you can play this audio? Can you? Is there any way to play this fucking audio?
Send it to me.
All right, I'm gonna put it in the stream. I'm gonna see if I can put it in the StreamYard chat because that's what I have open right now. Oh, I can also send it to Facebook. Hold on, let me open up a new tab. Oh, and oh god, it's just I don't know how to put it. It's just the guy who's doing it, the way he talks.
Can you
about
hear
it.
this?
I can't hear anything. No.
No.
No, I can't either.
I clicked the link from.
Oh,
Here
okay.
I'll do it this way.
Yeah. Put it on. Because the video's cool, but the audio is really. You saw me reacting to it. Oh my god.
All right, y'all. Yo, I finally figured it out, yo. I finally figured this shit out, yo. Like, yo, this shit been hurting my brain for the last, at least a good month, bro. I finally figured it out. I know who JD McDonough looks like, bro. I know who he look like. Lord Farquaad, is that you? JD, is that you? Is that you, JD? Yo. The resemblance, bro? Come on. Come on now, let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it, bro. You went from Shrek, bro, to now you on ropes and shit, freaking getting involved in Judgment Day business now, bro. Lord Farquaad, bro. When you gonna go back to the animation, bro? When you gonna go back to being on Shrek, bro? Like, yo, what's really good? I know I'm not the only one who see this resemblance, yo.
Why? Oh, yes, and that's the picture for those of you who are watching the video stream instead of the audio stream. Oh my god.
I mean, that is like fucking spot on.
Oh,
I'm telling you. He's a fucking cartoon, that guy. He's a fucking cartoon.
I am so glad I found that video. Thank you for Al. Thank you for putting. Was that Al that said that, or was it Steve?
That was me.
Yes, God damn, thank you, Steve.
But I'm telling. But so yeah, I mean, he sucks. R-Truth.
All right, you were talking earlier about clipping things from the fucking podcast. I think this is the thing you clip from the podcast. You post.
It's getting clipped.
Because the ending, you know how like when people have an ending on a reel and then it just loops back around. Like the ending is, yeah, he fucking sucks though, and then you just loop back around.
Oh man, R-Truth is everything.
Sucks. He works for WWE.
R-Truth is really the heartbeat of Monday Night Raw. He was by far, that package was the best part of Monday Night Raw, hands down.
Definitely the most entertaining.
I did enjoy the confrontation with Rhea and Nia. I did. I thought that was great. Nia's promos have come a long way. Say what you want about in-ring, which I think has started to get a little better, to be honest. She's a little lighter on her feet.
Yeah, nothing like hitting your stride at 44 years old as a woman.
But at least she hit the stride, you know.
Right in your physical prime as a female, 44 years old.
She's looking great.
I don't even know how old she is.
I have no idea.
Alexa,
but
how old is Leia Fanene?
Leatherface was born on
Leatherface! I said Leia Fanene and it said Leatherface. I'm done. I'm just going to Google it. Oh, we're having too much fun here. You guys all heard me. I said Leia Fanene. That's her real name. And Alexa thought I said Leatherface.
funny.
Shut up, Alexa.
That's fucking hilarious.
Lena Fanene. My bad. But still. Birthday. Damn. May 29th, 1984. Okay. She's fine. She's 40. 40. Yeah, she's going to be 40. All right. So she's got a couple years left.
So anyway, we had R-Truth, best part of Raw. The main event we kind of already got into. It is what it is. What else? Was there anything else that we missed on Raw? I'm trying to think. Anything worth noting?
The main event was the Cody Roman match, or the Cody Shinsuke match, rather, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miz got another victory. So it's nice to see that Miz is on a winning streak.
He's another one that's hitting his stride in middle age. You know what I mean? Like he started off pretty.
We haven't had a face Miz in a long time.
Since he was saying ooh-ah and telling you what was coming up on SmackDown.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was it's funny to see him pick it up, because there was a point where before that, even that year where he won the world title and main evented WrestleMania against John Cena, which is like the weirdest phrase to ever come out of anybody's mouth. There was just like, the Miz, he's fine, he's okay. He's not really like in super duper shape, and he's not like the best wrestler. Like he cuts an okay promo and he can get some heat, but like he's not the best. He's not the greatest. And that was just like his reputation, deserved reputation for a long time. And I tell me if I'm hitting the right spot. He kind of started getting better around the time he feuded with Shane McMahon. Like that WrestleMania match they had.
That's about right. That's about right. I mean, he really started to really shine.
Because now, like even just now, like flash forward to like when he had that surprise world title win, and then they had that countdown, like Bobby Lashley's going to whoop the Miz's ass in 1 hour, and they just had the countdown clock until the Miz lost the world title. Like that was, you could see that, going back a couple years and then going to that moment, you're like, oh, he's in much better shape now. He's like, the wrestling is snappy. There's just something about it that finally like clicked in his brain where everything, like the promos were kind of always this thing. He was a talker, but the moves were fine. There was just something clunky about what he did.
Right.
And now
well,
it's
I
like,
think deep down, everybody still in their head still said, oh, this is just the real world guy. I
mean, that's the first thing it's weird to say, and it's been 20-something years, but I mean, that's the first thing.
Talk about a fucking guy dedicated. He created this whole Miz character back then on the first ever Real World,
and that was his goal back then. Like his whole thing was to become a pro wrestler via the Real World, which is.
And not only did he become world champion, but he did it fighting John Cena and The Rock. You talk about incredible. I mean. The Miz owes everything to those two. To be in a match like that and to know you're going to go over at WrestleMania. That's amazing. He
also has one of the best WrestleMania intro packages.
Yes.
Ever. That one where he's sitting in front of all of the TVs that have different moments, and it's got "You Can Hate Me Now," and I was just like, oh, that was the perfect.
Yeah.
WrestleMania intro, and then of course he comes out and his big entrance was big balloons that inflated to say the Miz. Yeah, I think Ryan. I think you're right. He is
actually isn't he a 2-time Grand Slam?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
The only 2-time Grand Slam.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, listen, he is a Hall of Famer.
And we're forgetting about the biggest. Forget about the world titles and all this shit. He is married to Maurice.
Yeah, that's the total.
Won. I don't care. He could lose every single match. He should
go to the Hall of Fame just because
just for that.
They should induct him as Maurice's husband.
Yes, to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. You get to hit that every night. Here you
Seriously.
go.
Remember when they sold those T-shirts? Yeah, the balloon said, it said awesome, not the Miz.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it said. I thought it said the
That
Miz.
was awesome. That was awesome.
Remember when they sold the Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch shirts that said the man's man?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
They'll make a shirt on anything.
Could you get any more feminine? The man's man. Jesus Christ.
I think they sold that for like a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine walking around with the man's man shirt on?
Maybe in prison.
No, that might be the worst part. That might be the worst place.
Yeah, that might be the worst place.
Yeah, you're
That's a target. You might as well have a bullseye.
No, you just because whoever the man
at that point, you might as well just walk around naked. Just be ready at any time.
Maybe you know what? Depends on what your goal is in jail.
I guess so.
A lot of time to kill.
Jesus Christ. All right. Wow. Mitch will be happy with this because he's a big Liv Morgan fan. But all charges against her have been dropped. So I'm assuming she is a lock for the Women's Rumble for her big return.
I was gonna ask you that before we ended.
I'm assuming she'll be a lock for the Rumble at this point. Yeah. Even if she had a 30-day suspension, it would have been up, I think, by then. Yeah.
Since we got 7 minutes, could we all take a wild guess on who we think are guest appearances on the Rumble?
Absolutely. Well, are we going to start with men's or women?
Let's start with men.
Okay. Surprises for the men. Right off the bat, I think we're going to get Andrade.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go for the layup.
No, I know, but I'm saying that's a good. It's not a bad thought. But will they debut at the Rumble?
Aldis interviewed?
What?
Is that the one that Aldis met with during SmackDown?
No. So Andrade is currently just finished up his run with AEW, but he was originally in WWE. He's also married to Charlotte Flair. So in WWE, he was known as Andrade, and he was managed by Zelina Vega.
Who is married to
Aleister Black. Right? Who is in AEW? You may not be so familiar, but he's another one that was in WWE.
On SmackDown. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Very good, by the way. He was
Who?
an animal.
Oh yeah, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's doing this tag team thing now with the House of Black. That's just great. I'm hoping he gets back to singles matches soon. But like him and Buddy are wrestling FTR and just like having bangers.
Oh, banger after banger.
But do you think they debut Andrade at the Rumble, or do you think they have him come out during something involving the LWO guys?
I mean, I think at this point you make him a surprise in the Rumble. We need surprise.
Oh, I
in the
100%
Rumble.
agree.
You know what I mean? And I don't know too many others. Like, I'll throw this name out there too because I've been hearing it a lot lately. So I don't know how true it may be, but I'm hearing Batista's name a lot lately. And I'm also hearing about the amazing shape that he's in. So,
I mean, he is in great shape.
yeah.
That'd be nice. You know what? I mean, I would love to. I know we hear nothing about it, but he had such a great time the last time he was in the ring. Austin. What if Austin comes in for a couple of bumps, gets in there? That would be cool for a couple of rounds.
If he can get tossed out, the only thing you have to worry about, and this is what happened with the old timers battle royal at WrestleMania 19. The only reason the Iron Sheik won is because he was so old he couldn't take the bump over the top rope to get eliminated. So you got to make sure whoever you're bringing in, like Stone Cold, listen, he looks great, but I don't know if I want him taking that 15-foot drop over the top rope onto a floor.
Yeah, that's
I guess he could go over and then stand
and
on
then somebody bumps him.
And then
somebody
okay. Yeah. Back in. I'm back in. Stone Cold could do it.
I don't know what other. I think Sami Zayn hasn't been back to TV. He's been touring. I know that, but he hasn't been back to TV.
I heard X-Pac, Sean Waltman.
I was just going to say
X-Pac.
So
X-Pac would be great.
He might just come in and do a couple of spots because he just got a contract with the WWE. So that
I heard that too.
Yeah, so if he comes out, what about like the Hurricane?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Throw out a choke slam or two. Yeah.
What is Santino Morello doing with his life? I love that guy.
He's in Impact Wrestling.
I hope
Impact, which now
TNA. It'll be great if he could break his own record.
Oh, the quickest elimination?
The quickest elimination ever.
That was
Mitch,
so
you ever
funny.
seen that?
No.
Oh, you got to Google it. It's great. It's the greatest thing ever.
The quickest elimination?
He sets up the whole Cobra and he just goes right over the top rope.
Yeah, he like runs. He's running and so and just loses. He gets all, the momentum just sends him ass over TK.
Just go to TikTok and just put Santino Marella clips and just watch for an hour.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Santino, because
if you think R-Truth is great, you got to see Santino Marella.
He had Santino is a guy doing a very like Mario Brothers kind of Italian stereotype. And then he was friends with this guy called, what was his name? His name was Kozlov, something Kozlov, Alexander Kozlov, Victor. And that guy was like a legit Russian. I met that guy once. He's very, very Russian. He doesn't speak much English. They had a segment in England where the Italian guy and the Russian guy dressed in suits and bowler hats and had a tea party in the middle of the ring. So that's another, in addition to the Royal Rumble, you can look up the Santino Marella Kozlov tea party where they sit and they look.
Hi, I have a question. I'm Santino Marella.
Go ahead, Santino.
Firstly, tonight, I noticed the rapping singer Acorn is here. I see him. I notice you noticing me. So, I'm going to ask my question in the form of a rapping song. My name is Santino, and I'm from Europe. I like my pancakes with maple syrup. I lost my title to William Regal. His knee to my head should have been illegal. Now I'm healthy, and it is vital. I want back my IC title. Yes! Hey guys, you're not even in a restaurant, but you got served.
That's just a little.
Aside, Santino, you had
just a little taste.
But two
That's a little taste.
Santino is he's like he was like kind of like an R-Truth per se, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was
An Italian R-Truth.
Yeah. He was very much like, because he was in every kind of segment like that.
And
And
he
you have
arguably has one of the top 10 most deadliest moves in wrestling.
Yes, the Cobra.
The
Yes.
Cobra. The Cobra. It was
He
fucking
pulled
hilarious.
out a Cobra sock out of his pants, and he put it on, and he would do this, and he would
activated
yell
his
Cobra,
hand.
and he'd stab you, and that was his finishing move.
He activated his hand, and it was a wrap for you.
And then the best was when you had the Cobra versus Sacco.
No.
One of the greatest moments ever. It was, I mean, there's some really stupid shit, but fucking just great. I mean, just really funny stuff. So watch some Santino clips. It'll be worth it.
I'm in.
Oh, yeah. So, Steve, speaking of, I don't know if this will be a return or not, because we were talking about this person, and now it seems they were going one way, now they're going another. Excuse me. Sasha Banks.
Bless you.
Where does she go? The rumor now is that the WWE deal is dead and she's going to AEW. Is that a misdirection?
It's a misdirection, I think. I think she signed with WWE.
And she's going to debut in the Rumble?
I think she's coming out at the Rumble. I do.
Does she win the Rumble?
You know, you make a case that she'll be Final Four. Does she win? I don't know. We got to see what happens with Jade Cargill and what kind of push of dominance they give her and what number she's out. Because this is going to be Jade's debut also, I believe. I'm also hearing very strong rumors for a surprise woman who definitely could have a solid run in the Rumble is the return of AJ Lee, Mrs. Punk.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you if you thought that there was a wrestler that David Roscoe would like coming back in the Women's Royal Rumble, namely Trish Stratus.
Well, I do think Trish is going to be in the Rumble.
I think so too.
I do. I think she's
going
to be in
Lita
there.
might come back for a night?
I think you can always make a case for Lita as long as she's healthy. I do. I could see Lita. I also what was the other one?
I got another guy that I think might make an appearance.
Who's that?
Depending on his contract. MJF.
Ooh.
Yo, that'd be cool.
That would be interesting.
You know,
look. Steve just marked out. That's what
you know.
I don't know if he's going to do it though. I think
Steve had to breathe.
Hold on. So I'm so torn with the thought of it. I listen. If we're sitting there and we see the countdown and they get the music too, right? And MJF's music fucking hits. Yes, I will mark the fuck out like you've never seen marking out before. But I also have hesitation because I don't want him in WWE. As great as a moment that would be, he will never be the MJF that we know and love now.
I just want him as a rental. I just want him in the Rumble.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I'm in for a night.
I'm in.
That's fine.
That I'm in 100%. Deal. But it would be a mark out.
Wouldn't wrestling be awesome if they would do some shit like that? Like wrestling, there should be like an all-star match yearly for wrestling, like an all-star game. Like you do like a War Games 5-on-5.
Hey, listen, not for nothing.
And I guess they could just like pitch back and forth, like whoever wins. You know,
WWE kind of started that trend with Mickie James. She even came out with the women's TNA title,
right?
You know, so he opened up that gateway. I think we have more of a chance than ever of that happening now than we ever did. Now that Vince is gone,
with AEW working with New Japan, WWE has opened up a relationship with All Japan, which is a little bit of a smaller promotion, but it's still another one of the bigger. When you think about wrestling in Japan, you think about New Japan, you think about Pro Wrestling Noah, you think about All Japan. There's a couple other ones, but those are the main ones you think of. All Japan's got a very good reputation. They sent Charlie Dempsey over to wrestle for their world title. He did not win, but that was the first step in WWE's plan to have a working relationship with All Japan, which seems like is going forward now. Also, doesn't preclude. I mean, AEW has the world, not World's End, but the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Danielson and Moxley and some other guys wrestled on the New Japan pay-per-view that happened on January the 4th. with WWE being more open now than it ever has been, this is about as good as we've ever had. And it's not going to, unfortunately, it's not going to be the thing we wanted at the time, which was Goldberg and Hollywood Hogan and Sting and the Outsiders against The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and DX and all that. You know what I mean? We didn't get the war we wanted on pay-per-view, but we can get something. We can get the current guys intermingling, and to see some of to see them interacting with to see WWE guys interact with New Japan guys would be interesting because it's a completely different style. So it'd be very interesting to see which people would pick up on the New Japan style and adapt to that, and which of the Japanese guys adapted to the US style.
I think we're a long ways away from seeing that, but if we could get some kind of working relationship between Triple H and Tony Khan, that would be awesome. But I don't know that Tony Khan is still, any chance he gets, he's taking shots or trying to take shots at WWE, and it's just making him look kind of petty and weak.
I like how today's thing was Jinder Mahal has not won a match in an entire year, and he's challenging for the world title. And he's like, and people have a problem with Hook, who's 28-1, challenging for the world title. He's like, and then this is where I can tell you 100% people are just backing the side that they want to win, like tribalistically or whatever, because now people are online defending Jinder Mahal. Give me a fucking break. Jinder Mahal stinks and has always stunk, and he only won the world.
Now hold on a second.
Come on.
Yes, they only gave him the title because of the India deal. Yes.
Right.
But his last two promos since coming back recently have been fire. I think he's going to put on a great match with Seth Rollins, but there's no way in hell he's going to win.
Right. But
I do also agree with the fact that he's, in my opinion, not worthy of a title shot. He's done nothing to get one.
Right.
And I do agree with that. I'm just saying he's not terrible.
Right. I think people who also are looking at Hook the same way is like, listen, man, he's not going to win either. He's challenging the world champion because he's a young guy and he needs to get his reps in. And people complain about, AEW relies on just the elite guys or just these ex-WWE guys. And then when they try and bring up a young guy like Hook, they're like, oh, no, why is Hook challenging for a world title? Well, fucking pick one. Either they rely too much on the old guys or, the new guys stink or whatever it is, like the four, now the four pillars, two of them stink, they're like, oh, Sammy stinks, Jungle Boy stinks, everybody stinks. That's an AEW now, apparently. It's just weird because like the reaction from Tony Khan to call out Jinder was like, it's a weird shot at Jinder, but it was in reaction to people like talking
hypocrites.
Shit on
it was pointing out hypocrites.
Right, people talking shit on Hook, and it's like, it's Hook. Do you think Hook is winning? Like, really? Do you think Hook is winning the world? Like, anybody who sees that match happening, you're not. I don't know. It's just silly. It was silly. People are complaining about everything now, and it's too much. It's not like Hook is.
Vince, we say it all the time.
Hook's not challenging it like fucking WrestleMania or anything.
And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again. This is right now, outside of when we were growing up, the best time to be a wrestling fan. There is no reason you can either be AEW or WWE. There's no reason why you can't enjoy both for what they are.
Right.
AEW is more of an ECW type of show compared to WWE, but you get the best of both. And what's great is you got guys that are going back and forth, just like the old days. So you still get to see the guys and girls that you like just on different shows. So just be happy with the fucking product and the time that we're in right now where we're getting all this great wrestling, and shut the fuck up. But you always have those fucking trolls that just want to say shit.
Wow.
Yeah, and go ahead, Al.
No, I was just gonna say, wow, Steve, you're aggressive, man.
I'm just saying, it pisses me off.
Go ahead.
Fucking assholes. I can't take it. I just it bothers me, dude. Like, why can't we just love it all?
No, but there's always those haters, right? There's you know what it is.
This
There's
isn't a
always
Yankees
people
Red
that are
Sox
going to talk.
situation. This
There's
ain't
people
a
that are always
Giants
just
Eagles
gonna talk.
situation where there can't be friendship there. That's different. This is wrestling, motherfuckers. Like, enjoy it.
Right.
It bothers me. It bothers me. It does. You know, it really does.
I understand. Because it's like
I grew up with the NWO, WCW, Monday Night Wars. The greatest time to be a fan, and I got into it much earlier than that, but that's when it exploded.
right.
And that's when we got the best WWE because they got the shit kicked out of them for so long. And WCW was reigning supreme. It was amazing. And then it kind of mellowed out a little bit. Then the world fucking went to shit. We, all had to go into hibernation and
Right.
wrestle in front of monitors and no crowd. And then we have two amazing companies.
Mm.
And you have people that can't like them because they're pro WWE. Like, it makes no fucking sense.
What they don't realize is that WWE is only better now because AEW exists.
That is correct.
Back in like 2000, the
Same thing WCW
Before
did to WWE
2019
back then.
or 20, whatever
Yep.
it was, 2018, 2019, they were very, very
bad. Remember, they were having the Fiend was really hot, but they didn't want Seth to lose the title, so there was a Hell in a Cell match that the Fiend lost by disqualification, and it was
Yeah,
that was
like
the
a
lowest
match that.
point.
Well, it makes total sense, right? Because there's DQ in a fucking cage match.
Exactly.
That's
Especially
what
a Hell in a
pisses me
Cell.
off,
Why would
too.
there be a disqualification in a Hell in a Cell match? Do you know how many Hell in a Cell matches people have interfered in, and you're going to disqualify somebody for using a hammer? Oh,
It was a horrible time in the
yeah.
Fiend's
So it was a shit show, and it only got better because they're like, hey, we need to get better because we're not the only game in town. They got complacent. They got soft.
Well, and that's what happens, and that was the same thing years ago. I tell everybody, anyone that is just becoming a fan and never watched, like, go on the network and watch the Monday Night Wars from start to finish, because that tells the whole story, and it's and it'll kind of give you feels of what this is right now. Not to that extent, of course, because it's just not a comparable entity right now, but.
Nothing felt better than running home and waiting for Monday night and flicking back and forward in channels and seeing what was going on. That was like the best feeling.
What we used
ever
to
when you
do
were growing up.
We always had a Monday night college party every Monday, and what we would do is we would watch the first hour of Nitro. Then we would record the last 2 hours of Nitro. And we would watch Raw all the way through, then go back and watch the last 2 hours of Nitro. But we got it all in one night because you didn't want to miss anything. And you never knew who was going to take shots at who was going to show up. I mean, it was an exciting time to be a fan. And this kind of gives you the start of that again. We're not there yet, but we're getting there, slowly but surely. But, he also has to stop worrying about acquiring all this talent.
All
Use
I'm
the
saying
talent
is
you
this,
have.
Steve. All I'm saying is this: if I see Kenny Omega show up on Raw with a black fucking vest on, talking about, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here, I'm fucking marking out for sure.
That would be amazing.
Kenny
I
Omega's
think those
gonna-
days are gone, though. I think Kenny Omega's getting ready to bag it up.
Yeah, I think Kenny, I like Kenny, but I feel like if you got, diverticulitis means he's off for quite a while, at least for the moment. You know what I mean? So, hard to.
Oh, I didn't even know he was out. You kidding me?
Yeah, no, they announced last 2 weeks ago or so, he's out. He has bad diverticulitis like Brock Lesnar had, and
oh shit,
he didn't take enough time. Like, legitimately, almost killed him because he didn't take time off to get surgery. And they're like, I remember. Do you remember watching that he had him and Jericho had a promo, and it was about the worst promo I've ever seen in my life. And Kenny just looked sick. And I turned around, I looked at my girlfriend and said, Kenny looks sick. I'm like, what's wrong with him? And then next thing you know, he's in the hospital, he's got diverticulitis. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so flip it around. So Randy Orton shows up at AEW and says this thing.
Now that would be wild.
There you go.
That would
crowd
be
will go,
insane.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but you know what? I shouldn't say this, but I think Orton's is just he's a WWE guy through and through. I don't think he'd ever.
I'm not saying that he goes over there. I'm saying he literally shows up from Raw and invades.
Okay.
And then we have
I think if they could work together and create an invasion,
like think about this.
It would be amazing.
You have a main event. You have a main event for the number one contender for the AEW belt, for two of your top AEW stars, and one of them's about to go in for a finishing move. He goes off the top rope. All of a sudden, as he's up there, he's about to throw himself. Randy Orton under the bottom rope, RKO out of nowhere, boom, poses for the crowd, and leaves.
It would be amazing.
Think about that.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
That'll be like the best thing ever written in life. Like, that'll be fucking nuts.
It would be amazing. It really would. Well, on that note, we are way over the top of the hour.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for staying with us, everybody. Yeah, we got some bonus contos here. We went a little extra innings for you. I don't know how I did it because I'll tell you, I cooked like just a very small 1 pound pot roast with like potatoes and stuff in the oven. And then I went and ate the whole thing right before the podcast. So I don't know how I didn't just fall asleep from eating a whole pot roast and a bunch of potatoes. So glad I made it. Yeah. Did you guys like this is WWF Raw for the Nintendo 64 that I have?
It's fucking great. I haven't been able to stop watching.
Steve Austin has 7 wins so far.
Yeah, it's the it was somebody ran the you have to go up all those TVs.
Stunner.
Yeah, he's probably gonna win this one. You have to run up the tournament was on a bunch of TV screens. You have to keep going up the TV screens to beat people to win the world title. So somebody is taking Stone Cold up the world title ladder right now. That's what's playing. But I figured I'd put some. I usually have because Mitch doesn't know. I usually have jellyfish pulsating in the background, and I don't know. I thought maybe I'd give it a little bit of a switch up.
I like that. It's pretty good.
But we'll keep adding. You know, maybe I'll do a different game. You know, next week I'll change it up, find different things to put on the screen back here for people that are paying attention as like a little Easter egg. But that'll do it for us this week, I guess. Thanks for tuning in. Mitchell, thank you for coming in. Money Making Mitch.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the latest edition. We'll get into some more because as we get towards the Royal Rumble, like the week before the Rumble, we'll do our picks. We'll run down the whole card, and then we'll do our official picks, and then we'll kind of get your idea of where you think it's going for the Rumble, and then where you think it's going for the road to WrestleMania. So you can stay tuned for that, and so can the listeners as we get closer to the big pay-per-view or PLE. I don't like it's still a pay-per-view. I'm still calling it pay-per-view. Sorry.
Absolutely.
But we're here.
It's a fucking pay-per-view.
It's a pay-per-view. It rolls off the tongue easier, pay-per-view. And we do this every Tuesday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We stream all over the internet. We're on a bunch of stuff. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're on several Facebook pages. We stream on Twitter/X. We stream on Steve's LinkedIn. We stream on a bunch of stuff. So most of it is at Tag Me a Date. That's Tag Me a Date with no spaces. That's our username on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Most social media, and YouTube. So if you type in Tag Me a Date in YouTube, it'll bring you to our page where you can subscribe and then hit the bell to get notified when we go live or when we upload a new video. The only different username is Twitch. It's twitch.tv/War Report, WARREPORT. Again, that's all one word, no dots, dashes, or spaces. You can just go to the Twitch, add us as a favorite, add us as a friend, whatever it is. And it'll notify you when we go live on there as well. You can go to the YouTube or the Twitch to see streams, the archives of the streams from past weeks if you are trying to catch up, or If you prefer a audio podcast versus the video version that we give you every week, you just use your favorite podcast apps such as Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or Google Play Podcasts. You search for The War Report or Tag Me a Date. It should come up. Hit subscribe, and then within the hour of us going off the air, Ryan, who you saw in the comments earlier today, will take the audio and upload it for us, and it'll go right to your device, your tablet or your mobile device, so you can take it in the car or take it to the gym or whatever it is you're trying to get done throughout the day where you're listening to podcasts. And I guess last but not least, if you're listening, we didn't see Tara today, so I hope Tara's doing all right. If you're listening to this afterward, Tara, hope you're doing well. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you in the group chat. And David, thank you, David, for chiming in as well. David kept us updated, asked some questions, and we love having people come in during the live stream and ask questions. We put it up on the stream. We put the thing right up on the screen there. We address the question or the comment, and you help fuel our conversation. So if you have friends that want to drop in the comments, or you have friends that haven't heard of the podcast yet, spread the love, share a link. We love having people come in and help us out. Usually we got a few people in every week that ask some questions and keep things going. So if you want to be one of those people, you want to be a regular like David or Tara, then feel free, man. Drop in the comments. We'd love to see you. Other than that, we'll be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Eastern time for another edition of the War Report After Dark. Have a nice week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.